a lot to discuss regarding the first of the many Trump legal matters to discuss. Number one, let's talk about the latest. Will Trump be indicted? It seems like it, but we're not sure. Some people have said the DA's office never said it, though there's been talk about coordinated efforts between the NYPD and Secret Service. So is there going to be an indictment? I don't know. All of the lead-up information, all of the lead-up procedures seem to have occurred. So we don't know. I mean, there's nothing guaranteed. Nobody has announced at 12 o'clock, as far as we know. That's number one. Number two, Alvin Bragg must be thinking, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? And the reason is, and I love this, Chris Rock has even come out against it. Oh my God. And I love what they say. Even Elon Musk says that if Trump were to be indicted, it would guarantee his reelection. Did I miss something? Does this mean something? Is that important? I mean, I tend to agree, sort of, because some people will say, yeah, but you have to have a valid election. But that's for another issue, and other people can discuss that in other fora. Okay, that's that thing. Next, and this is important, let's talk about what Ron DeSantis did. Ron DeSantis gave one of the most lukewarm, kind of forced his hand, I don't know what it was, an endorsement of Trump. And he said something like, well, I don't know about paying hush money to porn stars. First, can we lose this thing called a porn star? Can we just get rid of this idea of there being a porn star? First of all, it's oxymoronic, all right? Porn stars there's no such thing as that anymore. Everybody is a star, and everybody's doing porn, from OnlyFans to whatever the hell it is. So even that word is like conspiracy theory. It's just, once it gets tacked on, people can't lose it. So Dusty Saddles or whatever is not a porn star. I'm just saying. But you can argue the point. I mean, far be from me. That's like saying mud wrestling Olympian. It's like, okay, whatever, sure, I guess. So that's that. But it was interesting how Ron DeSantis said, well, I don't know about this, but I guess he had to give that dig. Now, some people are saying, wait a minute, is there anything wrong with, quote, paying off someone hush money? Well, Bill Clinton did it. What do you think those lawsuits were for? It happens all the time. Sexual harassment claims, non-disclosures, release and waivers. I don't know where people have been, where people have settled claims. There are people who've had fender benders in parking lots who've signed releases when they figure, I'm just going to, here's some money, go away. So I don't know how to break it to you. It's not that uncommon, okay? That's that. Next, my wife and I happened to be strolling about the avenue today, and we walked in front of Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, and nothing. I think 3 or 4, maybe 5 people, some signs. Trump won. There were a couple of cops. I think somebody from the Wall Street Journal. There was nobody there. But the way you hear it in the news, on high alert. Well, maybe they were on high alert someplace else, but in front of Trump Tower around 1 o'clock, 1:30, nothing. Nothing. High pedestrian traffic, lunchtime, nothing. Okay, good. And I hope and I trust and I pray that there is nothing and that there is no violence. And I hope the president and everybody attendant thereto reminds the world, no violence. Okay. Next, we are again looking at the facts of the case as able to be adduced without charges being filed yet. It appears to be the basic foundation of this matter is falsified records, business or otherwise, which is a misdemeanor where the statute of limitation has already lapsed, so that's no good. To resuscitate or to save the charge, you have to up it and make it a felony, make it felonious. How? By taking the basic elements and adding a new one. That this misapplication of, accounting records was done in order to hide a crime. Now it gets, which even then, if it's a Class E felony, the statute of limitations may have lapsed as well. But assuming it hasn't, you have to show in effect that Trump did this to cover up the violation of state campaign laws, which normally are federal, and the federal government, I repeat again, wants nothing to do with this dog of a case. The feds, the Department of Justice, wants nothing to do with going after and prosecuting Donald Trump. Let me say this again. The Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, who, by the way, the other cases are the E. Jean Carroll sexual battery case, the civil case. There's the Steele case in Georgia. There's the Mar-a-Lago case, maybe with the documents. And then there's January 6th with Jack Smith and others. There are other people. By the way, the federal government that impeached him twice and whatever. The federal government, my point is, has not been at all, wallflower-ish in going after all things Trump when it comes to prosecuting, and they want nothing to do with this dog of a case. Alvin Bragg had it at first. He stopped it because he knew it was a dog. Cy Vance, his predecessor, same thing. Not exactly. This is a guy who went after, everybody. There's anyway. So why? Now we can play why. Well, it's because obviously Trump's doing well and better for 2024. Okay, maybe. Good luck with that one. Good luck. You can imagine all you want on that one. And you can guess, and you may not be wrong or right, but you're not going to get an answer. I'll let you think about that. This case already is falling apart. Already it's falling apart, and nothing's happened yet. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork. Now, the Republicans have shown, and this is the most important part, the Republicans have shown this collective anger in saying, we demand of you, Alvin Bragg, documents, records about what kind of consideration, what kind of communications you had with the Department of Justice. Now, Alvin Bragg can say, excuse me, is this a demand or a request? And if it's a request, I say no. If this is a request, is this merely precatory? Are you just asking me? Is this a subpoena? That's number one. Number two, Alvin Bragg could say, there is a certain confidentiality that I have, especially regarding pending prosecution cases. I don't have to turn over my files to you. Third, Alvin Bragg could say, I always work, and have worked, I should say, with the federal government, with the FBI and the CIA and others, when in fact I'm trying to secure justice. I've often utilized their resources. They've asked me for help as I've looked to the Attorney General of Indiana or perhaps the gendarme in France. Or I look everywhere. I'm not taking orders from the Department of Justice. I'm merely looking at them or to them or with them in a collaborative effort. Okay, you got that. So that's kind of what he's saying. They better be careful with that one, because you want to bring him before the House and say, why are you prosecuting Trump? That looks really shady. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can opine whatever you want. Utilize your First Amendment right. But for you to bring him in and then ask a prosecutor, why are you doing this in a pending matter? Because remember, there are two parties to this. There's the defendant in a criminal matter, and there's also the people of the city of New York. Now, granted, I think, and of course it's political. Of course it is. What isn't political? Why do I say this? They're elected. These prosecutor positions in the state system are elected. Everything they do is political. Since the days of Dewey and Rudy, which is federal. But the point is, it's your ticket to the AG federal, to the federal bench, SCOTUS maybe. Of course it's political. To be the person who brings down Trump. However, in the event that there's an acquittal, I would imagine there would be a true bill, there would be an indictment rendered, or if the case is reversed on appeal or whatever, your career is over. Can you say Alberto Gonzalez? Remember that one? It goes nowhere. So Alvin Bragg may be asking himself right now, am I the dupe? How did I get stuck with this? Why am I teeing off? Why don't you let Jack Smith or somebody else, or let the Atlanta prosecutor go after the Stop the Steal case, or the Mar-a-Lago documents? Those are pretty easy. Did you have them or didn't you have them? Did you have the authority to have them or didn't you? It's very, very simple, very matter of fact. Why me? Why am I starting off? Or he may say, no, let me go first. So it can have either the primacy effect or the recency effect. The primacy effect is you remember what happened first. Recency is you remember what happened last. So all of these considerations are fascinating. I pledge to you I will keep you up to date. I am not going to sit here and give you the I love Trump, but everything Trump does is great routine. If Trump blunders, I'll tell you. If the prosecution blunders, I'll tell you. I'm telling you how this is happening legally. I'm not here to craft reality to fit your particular political ideations and the like. All right? Good. So thank you for watching. Please, please, please listen to me. Subscribe to this channel. Put your thoughts and comments down. I want to see what your comments have been brilliant. Please don't let me down. Write more. Subscribe to the channel. Of course, like the channel. Hit that little buzzer and bell so you're notified of new videos and the like. And please, I beg, I beseech, I import you, and I ask you to comment as you see fit.